What is up, guys? Greg Newmaster here, coming at you with another action figure review. Here, guys, I'm going to rate what I think are the top 5 6-inch Captain America action figures that have ever been made. I'm going to say this as a preface. They are all Marvel Legends. No SH Figuarts, I didn't think. No Revel Tech, no Mafex even, which I love Mafex. I think they're just doing a phenomenal job. For the 6-inch scale, Hot Toys not included. They're just ridiculous. They're expensive. Even Mezco, 112 Collective, I did not choose for this video. Just because it didn't do it for me with the sculpt. Same with Revel Tech, even though that's a really cool figure. So let's talk about Captain America. Captain America, I think, is Marvel's answer to Superman. He is just this righteous, wholesome, really amazing figure to me. And to some people, that's boring. But World War II, to me, is very special. My grandfather, he was in the Navy. He fought in World War II. And my grandmother, who I love and adore, she was a World War II wife. So they were 18 when they got married. My pap went off to war. He came back, he was shot, he had a Purple Heart, and he came back, and that really affected his life. Now, I never met my grandfather. He died when my dad was 10, but that always affected my family. My grandfather had 7 sons. My dad was the 5th one. 3 of his sons went off to serve in the military. All did very well, and it was all because they were inspired by him because of his legacy in World War II. So Captain America means a lot to me for that reason. And also Captain America means a lot to me because he is the righteous figure of the Marvel Universe. And people think righteous and wholesome is boring, but I don't. If you do it right, it is very compelling. And I believe for a character to be awesome, they don't always have to be dark and moody and tortured and or do bad things. You can be a saintly person and struggle and have drama and be interesting. And I think that's what Captain America is. So I'm going to judge these figures 4 criteria. I'm going to go sculpt, number 1, articulation, number 2, paint, number 3, and accessories, number 4, even though that's not a big deal to me. So let's get into it. Let's first talk about the sculpt. So whenever I judge the sculpt of a figure, this is very subjective, so I go by comic book art. So typically, if it's a great comic book artist that I had fell in love with when I was reading and when I was young, and I think this is the case for most people, you want your figure to look like that artist's interpretation. So the number 1 artist I want to talk about is Alex Ross. So take a look there. Unbelievable. Unbelievable artwork. Like, look at that. So realistic. Here's another Alex Ross piece of artwork. Just look at how great that looks. Now, before there were the live-action Marvel movies, there were not really any great representations of the Marvel characters in real life. So in the 90s, Alex Ross came along and just started drawing all the superheroes. He drew the DC superheroes and he drew the Marvel superheroes. And Alex Ross is this artist as if Michelangelo was born today, the creator of the Sistine Chapel, the Pieta, the Statue of David. If he came today, this Renaissance artist, and was born now and started drawing comic book heroes, that is who Alex Ross would be, and he is just phenomenal. So one of the figures on this list looks like his artwork. The number 2 artist I want to talk about is Steve McNiven. Now, McNiven came about, I would say, like the late 90s, 2000s. And he did a fantastic version of Captain America in Civil War. If you can get a look at that right there. And I want you guys to pay attention to look at his cowl, how it goes into the chainmail. Look at how the star sticks off of his chest. Look at the pouches on his belt. Look at the gloves and the boots. Just look at the level of detail and sense of realism that McNiven has. He is just fantastic, and he did Civil War. Another Civil War artist, and Civil War is the great Marvel storyline where the superheroes have to register, and then Iron Man and Captain America form two factions, and they fight against each other, and it just rips the Avengers apart. They also made a movie about it that's loosely based on the comic, which is also awesome. So this is Michael Turner. This is one of my favorite pieces of artwork of Captain America. Just look at how beautiful that is. Look at the blood on the shield. Look at the angles and the lines. Very almost anime style. Michael Turner did Witchblade. That's how he started out. Just a fantastic artist. So those are the main artists I'm going to judge the sculpt by. And finally, I'm going to judge the sculpt by reality, which is the actor Chris Evans, who brilliantly played Captain America through all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So this brings us to number 5, greatest Captain America 6-inch figure ever made. This is the Hasbro Worthy Cap. Now, if you look at how beautiful that is. They really upped their game with these realistic looking figures. They started shading the faces like very well. So look at the helmet, look at the face, look at the eyes, look at the detail on the mask, how the A comes out. The wings are sculpted on there. The ears look beautiful. The paint isn't perfect on this. Like if you look at the chest, in the movie, he had like a metallic finish on the chainmail, so that could have been done a little bit better in terms of the paint, but the detail is just awesome. The proportions look good. It doesn't look too action figure-y. Articulation is awesome. This even comes with a Chris Evans head. Like, look at how great that Chris Evans head looks. Look at I don't know if you guys can see this on camera, but look at the shading on the eyes, under the eyes. The eyebrows look great. The hair looks great. Just a beautiful rendering of Chris Evans. And if you saw Avengers Endgame, I don't know if you're like me, but that movie just blew my mind. And, this Captain America is based on the Captain America at the end of that film where he picks up Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. And it was just, if you were a nerd like me, that was just mind-blowing. Awesome thing about this figure, too, which is what I love when they have figures with weapons like swords or hammers or guns. They put the tilt in the wrist like that, so he can instead they normally do it like this, but this time they do it like this, so he can tilt the hammer up, which is just great for the pose. My head is a little bit loose because I swapped this head to put it on other figures, so it kind of stretched it out a little bit. But look at the boots, even the nice brown boots. Look at the red stripe on the pants. Now SH Figure Arts and Mafex, they paint typically way better than Hasbro, but this figure was $20. $20 for this figure, and it just looks amazing. Look at the shield. Let's talk about accessories. Look at the shield. Look at the dirt and the grime, the battle damage. This nails the look of the shield perfectly, the movie shield. Which is very important for Captain America. His most important accessory is the shield. Here's the inside of the shield with the straps. Just looks great. My only complaint is that I think the shield is way too big. If you probably cut off this top ring or cut it in half, make it a little bit smaller, that would have been more proportionate to the movie shield. It's just way too big. Like like you can barely fit it on his arm because it's just so big. So let's talk about articulation for this figure. He has like these shoulder pads, but they're a nice soft plastic, so they can kind of bend, but his arms don't go up too far. Shoulders, or elbows and knees are double jointed. Thank God for that, always. See that there? Oh, sorry, it's got to focus. There we go. We got the ab crunch. Sorry, my head's just gonna keep popping off there. Really deep ab crunch. So he can like bend over there like he's hungover. He had a bender and he's like, "Blah, blah, I'm puking." That's what it looks like there. It goes back really far too, which is great. And the other thing is, it's really hard. You have to kind of pop off the hand to get the shield on. Let me pull the shield off. Here's the articulation. Like it spins around like that. So it articulates a little bit in the wrist, but not too much. That's not a big deal though. We got the ankle rocker, up and down. There's a little popping noise. Goes pretty far. Goes up about that far. Really nice. And pivot. This is way better than the Mezco, by the way. The Mezco figures have the worst ankle joints. They just barely move, which is not good. But this is number 5. Number 5, top 5 6-inch figures. Let's move on to my next guy here. Put him down. We have... Oh yeah, this is Hasbro's Bucky Captain America. It was a big deal in the comics. Comics always do it first. When Steve Rogers was killed, he was killed after the Civil War storyline, and Bucky, not Falcon, Bucky takes over as Captain America. So the Winter Soldier himself. Now this is one of the best Captain America figures I have ever seen, and it's done by Hasbro. Now Hasbro typically has a cookie cutter mold with their figures. They just use the same body molds and same parts all the time. But I think this Bucky was actually one of the first of this body mold, and it looks fantastic. They have this metallic blue, which looks great. They just really nailed the details of the suit in the comic. He has this black and just a little bit of the Captain America look. He comes with the gun, which I thought was great. And the gun can go in its holster. Like, look at that utility belt. Just looks amazing. He also comes with a knife. A nice little knife there, because the Winter Soldier always has a knife, and the handle's even painted black. Normally, Hasbro kind of cheapos out, and they don't really paint the weapons. They just leave them their generic color. The shield looks great. This is actually based on the movie Shield, when they started putting out the movie Captain America figures. But the shield looks great. Even though Bucky didn't use this kind of shield, it didn't look this way. Look, you got the stars on the shoulders. Just like, look at how muscular he looks. And the boots look fantastic. I think these are some of the best boots that Hasbro has done, that look like the pirate boots with the flaps like that, the old-timey boots. And they reuse these a lot. They use them on like the Cyclops figure. And even his size, like he's smaller compared to the other Captain America figures. If you get like the Captain America wolf cap, the wolf cap is way bigger than this figure. He just looks amazing. Oh, and I love they added this feature, because in the comics, Cap, like the shield has straps on it, so the Cap would wear the shield like a book bag. And he'd put the straps over his shoulders. So they put this little port in the back, and you can put the shield on just like that. So he can wear his shield, kind of give you that illusion. Articulation. This figure is excellently articulated. Head moves up and down. It's on a little ball joint, so you get a little rock and tilt there. Shoulders go up really high. just like that. We got the bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. We got a thigh cut. We got the ab crunch, really nice ab crunch. Ab crunch goes back like that. Legs go up really high. There's lots of cuts there, so you can get them in. The pouches for the gun and the knife kind of hinder him doing a split, but that's okay. You can get him into really great poses, which is what it's all about, when you got your action figures. Here's the inside of the shield. This is kind of flimsy. I like that they have this little port and you can put it on his back, but I don't like these little, it's just like a little wrist cuff that kind of like locks onto his wrist. The old Captain America shields, the Toy Biz ones, actually had like straps that you could put on his hands also. So I don't like how they do that because this thing breaks real easily. So you got to be really careful. So yeah, so this is my number 4 pick. The Bucky cap just looks beautiful and amazing. What a great figure. So that's my number 4 pick. Let's go number 3. Oh man, what an awesome figure. This is the figure that started it all, I would say, for just out of the world, incredible Captain America figures. This is the variant version, Toy Biz Ultimate Captain America. Like, just the level of sculpt and detail is so gorgeous on this figure. And this kind of looks like the McNiven sculpt, even though he wasn't drawn by McNiven in the Ultimate comic books. I forget who drew him in the Ultimates. But just look at the detail. Look at how the star comes out, how it's sculpted there. Look at the chainmail. Look at how the cowl goes into that. I didn't like the face sculpt for the Ultimate Cap. He just kind of looks a little bit dopey. They really painted his lips, so he has it looks like he's wearing lipstick, and it kind of looks like the mask. I like this mask, and that's why I chose this Ultimate Captain America, and it has the ears on it. The other Ultimate Cap does not have the little wings on his helmet. The A looks cool, like all the level of detail. Kind of looks very steampunkish. And this cap has the butterfly joints in the shoulders, in the pecs. So you have that movement, which is awesome. Look at the star there. Shoulders go up about that high. And we're talking in terms of articulation. I don't like the way that they articulated this waist. It's like a spring. So it articulates forward, but if you try to articulate it backwards, it kind of springs forward like that. I don't know why they did that. They do fix that later on, but that knocked this figure down to number 3. Also, look at these boots. Now, you got to remember, guys, the Ultimate version of Captain America is the main inspiration, I would say, for the costume design of Cap in Avengers. Definitely Captain America, the first Avenger, and then Captain America. They do have a port in the back, but that's so you can put him on a stand and pose him. But look at his utility belt. There's a little thermos there, multiple pouches. I love these boots. These boots look so good. And like I said, in the Marvel movies, they drew inspiration from these boots instead of giving him the red pirate boots. Even though I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't give him the red pirate boots and the red gloves. I hated the first Avenger movie, Captain America's outfit in the first Avengers with the team. I just hated that outfit. It just looked not good. I think they perfected it in Avengers Age of Ultron and Avengers Endgame were the best looking movie Captain America costumes. But like I said, the Ultimate Captain America inspired the look of that suit. Like, look at the gloves. Even Toy Biz was a little bit out of control, but it works for this figure. They even articulate the fingers, so you can sort of do the Captain America point where he's like ordering people around. Look at the lines on the thighs and just the level of detail like in this figure. There were 3 versions of this. Another version, this area of the costume right in the inner thighs was painted like a grayish black. Same right here under the chest, it was like a grayish black. And then the regular version just had a different mask and it didn't have the ears. So this is a variant as well. Let's talk about the accessories since we're on it. These shields were awesome. See how I was saying before? So the shield also has the straps and it has the little wrist like locker thing, this little plastic one. So you can put that down if you want and you can put the straps on like this, or you can do it both and he can hold the shield that way, which is awesome. Like that was such a great little idea. And it's a nice size for this size of a figure, unlike the Worthy Cap where the shield is just way too big. And this is just a nice classic comic book looking shield, just beautiful. Let's talk about the articulation. We've already talked about it a little bit. So the head turns side to side. It goes up and down. Goes down about that far. Does not go up very high. And there's no head tilt because they used to just put them on. I've modified all my Captain America figures so it pops on with, like, these joints are the worst. When they started doing the rounded head joints, that was a way better idea because you could swap out heads and just do like unmasked variants. We got double jointed elbows and knees. Like, look at that. Just beautiful. Like I said, there's a spring on the ab crunch, so it's just not good. But we do have waist swivel, which is fantastic. We can do a full straddle with this figure. Sort of almost can get him into a split. We have ankle tilt. The ankle is a little bit loose on this. The ankle goes all the way up and down. And we have toe articulation. But it looks good on this figure. It doesn't look a little bit out of control. This figure is just beautiful. Hasbro, like, they just have not even... They've almost come close, but they have not surpassed this yet. Just the articulation on this is amazing. Like, look at his back. Look at how jacked he is. Look at those traps. Look at those lats. Just huge. This guy looks like a super soldier. He looks like he can kick some serious butt. So yeah, that is my number 3 best Captain America figure ever made. This is the Toy Biz Ultimate Captain America. So let's go on to number 2, and this is going to be controversial, but this is my choice. Number 2 best 6-inch Captain America figure ever made is the recent anniversary figure Captain America. We have the anniversary cap as my number 2. So this figure is gorgeous. It is great, but it is not perfect. And I want to talk about the sculpt. So this is an improvement on what came before for Hasbro with the wolf cap. The wolf cap. So we had this Bucky cap kind of figure, but then they did a different body mold for Captain America, and that's with the wolf cap. And the wolf cap just didn't look good. It just wasn't good enough. The head looked fat and stupid. It was like, it just looked very generic. And it's just not respecting the awesomeness of Captain America. But this figure, this is definitely the best version of a Hasbro Captain America figure by far. but it is not the best Captain America figure. This is based on, if you get a good look at this head, this is trying to go with the Alex Ross version, and it almost gets it, but for whatever reason, they just didn't do a good job painting the eyes and the face. Like, they didn't put any shading on it, and the eyes, I don't know if you guys can see this, but he's kind of cockeyed. Like, his eyes are looking in different directions, and it's just ridiculous. Like, this figure could have been perfect if you just would have nailed the head, but they didn't. Like, look at that. This eye on this side is looking that way, and his left eye, or on the left from what you're looking at, no joke intended there, but it's also kind of looking off the other way. So he's googly-eyed. They made a googly-eyed Captain America. Like, such a beautiful paint job, such a beautiful sculpt, and they made him googly-eyed. Let's talk about the good things. The paint. Like, they put this metallic paint on the chainmail. It just looks beautiful. And they have this dark navy blue, just really capturing the Alex Ross. They have the black belt, no pouches. Areas on the back, the star is sculpted, it comes out. This is the standard Hasbro articulation, but this thing comes with an alternate head. And here's the alternate head. It is also cockeyed, googly-eyed. And I just thought this was stupid. If you were going to give us... And it looks almost identical to the other head. Like, if you guys can see that. Oh, oops, sorry about that. But if you look... Let me fix the camera for a minute. Like, if you look at the... Like, if you look at the heads, they look almost the same. Like, it's really hard to tell the difference. They should have given us a Steve Rogers head. Like, if you're going to make this Captain America, give us a Steve Rogers head. Don't give us almost exactly the same Captain America head. But once again, like the wolf cap, this comes with a bunch of hand accessories. You get a pointing hand. You get 2 open hands. I have the other open hand on him. You get 2 fisted hands. So you get a lot of accessories. You get the shield throwing feature, which it's okay. I'm not really a big fan of it. Basically, you can port that hand in, put the shield on there, and stick it in, and as if he's like throwing the shield. Let's talk about this shield. This is a beautiful shield. This has kind of become the new mold. This is the wolf cap shield. It's a great size. It is a great size for the comic version shield. It's not too big, not too small, just right. So they got that good. It's still, there's no detail on the inside, like the Bucky version. Just the standard. But like I said, these little pegs, these little cufflinks here, they break really easily. So I don't like that. I don't like how they don't put the straps on. But there he is from the back. They put the VIN number on there or whatever. These boots are not as good as Bucky's boots. The Bucky boots had really small detail, like texture on the flaps and on the leather. I just thought that looked amazing. So these are just like the wolf cap boots and gloves. But the chest is a lot bigger in the chainmail, and then they got this line there. So it's a mix between the Alex Ross and the Niven look, except he has the black belt, no pouches, just a gorgeous figure. Like I said, standard articulation, shoulders go all the way up. Just want to do this real quick for you guys. Don't want to waste your time with all the articulation, but he's articulated great. We got the waist swivel, he goes down, up. We got the head rocker, like that, all the way up and down. So we got the ball joint on the head. Actually, what I love to do with this figure is I take my Chris Evans head, and I love It's a little tight on there, but, and I'd love to put the Chris Evans head on there. Oh, that looks great. So yeah, you can actually modify this figure, which I like to do. Put the Chris Evans head on, because the heads that came with this are just terrible. Articulation, back and forward. Oh, he goes back really far, so you can do a severe back bend. We got the waist cut, almost a full straddle split. Leg goes up really high. We got the boots, up and down, pivot. We got boot cuts, thigh cut, the double jointed knees. Beautiful figure. Hasbro. Look, like, see, even on the bicep cut, they have the chainmail sculpted, which is just great. This figure was almost number one, and it can be number one for me with modifying it. Also, I take that head off, and I like to put the Chris Evans Captain America head on, and look at how nice that looks. That looks awesome. You can even do that, but he's not quite number one. Okay, guys, so there are the top four. Here is my number one pick for the best 6-inch Captain America figure ever made, and that is the Toy Biz 2-pack with Red Skull Captain America. And let me tell you guys, they have not surpassed this figure. They almost did with that last one, Hasbro, but this figure is just stunning. This figure is based on the McNiven artwork, I would say. And he, like, when I look at this figure, like, that is Captain America straight out of the comic books, as good as you're going to look. He is in the classic suit. He does have the pouches on the belt, which is like a new twist. That's sort of like what McNiven and them started doing. Now the annoying thing that Toy Biz would do is they would sell variants. So this, if you wanted, there was a Steve Rogers head that you could get unmasked, but you'd have to buy the variant. So I'm a sucker, so I got them both a long time ago. So, but you had to, I modified my figure so you could take the head off. So look at the head like that, though. It has this terrible peg before they started using the ball joint peg. And here is the alternate head. And it comes with like a little, like, unmasked thing. And that's what he looks like unmasked. And tell me that doesn't look like a guy out of the 40s and the 50s. This sculpt, to me, like, his face, he looks like Paul Newman, the famous actor from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Paul Newman, right there. Look at that face. He looks amazing. If Paul Newman was cast as Captain America in his youth, what a great casting that would be. But this figure is just gorgeous. Let's get a look at the masked head. Let's go and focus there. Look at that. Look at how good that looks. Can you guys see that? Here, get out of the way. There we go. Look at how good that looks. That is just so gorgeously sculpted. You get the little lines in the top of the head. You got the wings. Just like the no bullshit face. Like, he's just tough and ready to fight the Nazis. Ready to lead the Avengers. Ready to take down Hydra. The eyes are just painted a beautiful blue. He's got the butt chin, a strong chin, the nose. He's got the A on there. Like, that head is just amazing. And that's one of the reasons that this is number one. I mean, the reason that this is number one is the sculpt. Like, let's get a better look at the unmasked head. Just like the strong jaw and the nose, and then you got the smile lines sculpted in there. Just like a light brownish blonde hair, like a dirty blonde. Just beautiful figure. So I'm going to put the Captain America head back on. The color, like the color of the blue, it's not too dark, it's not too light, so it evokes that classic Captain America look. They improved on this figure, so this is the body mold of the Ultimate Cap. Same body mold, just different gloves and a different mask, different paint job. But so with the crunch articulation, they took out the spring, which was brilliant, and now and look at how far down that gets. Look at that. That's crazy. And it has sort of like this ratchety effect. That's how far back it goes. But they improved on that. So he has better posture. And he's just not like hunched forward like that, how the other figure is. He can puff his chest out. They got these awesome butterfly joints in the shoulders. Like, look at that sculpt. Just look at it. The smoothness, there's the chainmail on the chest and the shoulders, and the biceps and the triceps, but then you have this smooth leathery look that goes into with the cowl. Just so beautiful. Marvel, they've just always done things right. They always seem to do things better and faster than what DC does. Like, DC Comics have not made figures that even touch these figures. Like, look at those gloves. Look at the detail, the texturing. It looks like a sewn stitching pattern in the edge of the gloves. Like, it just looks real. Some of the paint on mine is a little bit worn. I've had this for a long time. We got the butterfly joints, like, again, where the arms can go forward and back. And you can just put them in awesome dynamic poses. Double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, thigh swivel, ab crunch, back and forward. There's only two negatives of this figure. Is that number one, the head is not on a ball joint. Second negative are the boots. They just got the feet. The feet are just a little bit too big. They look like clown shoes. They look like the shoes that the Joker wore in the new movie The Joker, Joaquin Phoenix. They look like those shoes that he would wear. But even so, even though they're a little bit too big, looks like Captain America wears a size 15 when he should probably wear like a 12, size 12. But he has like Shaq shoes. But look at the detail, the sculpt on the boot. There's the texturing, the tread. We got the thigh cut, thigh swivel. There's even a boot cut, which is a little bit too much. Ankle up and down. Not too much rock. Hasbro did that a little bit better, but we got the toe articulation, we got the finger articulation. Every finger is articulated in the first joint there. He's just hulking. Like, he looks like he took a big dose of the super soldier serum, big traps, big back, just like on the other one. But this figure, like, they haven't been able to do better than it. They just haven't. They got the nice classic shield. It has the straps and it has the clamp on it, which is awesome. You can even put the straps over his shoulders, how he wears the shield like a backpack. The articulated star on the back there. Even look at the stripes, the red, white, and blue stripes. Just the ruffling of the clothes. Can you see that there? Like by his navel. Just like the detail and the stripes that like come out. Like, they made this thing look so real. Even in the pants right here. Like, look at those details. How your pants, when they're tight around your crotch, they kind of make these little lines there. Gorgeous. Just stunning figure. The best Captain America figure ever made. Yeah, so guys, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, any rebuttals that you think there are any better Captain America figures, please let me know. But this is number one right here, top 5, and they're all Marvel Legends, in my opinion. Yeah, so like and subscribe. There will be more videos to come. Thank you very much.